Good morning, all of you. Today we will see the assembly language program to implement the OS command copy and type, okay, using file operations. So, we have to simulate the copy and type command here. So, what is copy command? Copy is what? Taking content from one file and copying it to the other file. So, this copy command does this. And type command is taking the content from one file, okay, and display it on the screen. So that is the type command. So we have to simulate both this command using the file operations in assembly language programming. Okay. So before going to the program, I will explain the logic first and then we will go for the program. Okay. Now up till now we have seen read and write system call. Okay, we have seen read and write system call. Okay, so this in RAX we are using 0 for the read, for write we are using 1 in RAX. Okay, in RDI we are using the by default means the standard input and for the read and standard output for write. In RSI we are using the source buffer where we have to read the content, and in write from where we have to write the content on the screen on the standard output device that we are taking the RSI. And the RDX is the count of, in suppose in reading, the how many bytes we are taking, that count we are taking in the RDX, and in write system call how many bytes we are writing on the output device that we are taking in as a count in RDX. Now in this program we have to use the file. Okay, so the files we are using, that's why we are using again the open system call for opening the file. Okay, so sys open, here this is the open file open system call, and in that case we have to move 2 in RAX. Then RDI will contain the file name, which file we have to open. Then RSI contain the flags. Flags means we are see there what will be the flags, and the RDX is the mode of opening the file. Okay. Similarly, sys close, for closing the file we will use this system call close. Okay. Here in RAX should contain 3 and RDI contain the file name or file descriptor of the particular file that we are closing. Okay. Then the file access mode. Which are the file access mode? As we have to read the file in this program, we have to write in the file in the program. Okay, so we have to set the file access mode also. So there are 3 file access modes: read, write and execute. Read means what? We can only view the content of the file, it means we can read the file. Write means we can modify the content, we can remove the content, that is write. And execute is we can run that file as a program. Okay, so that is execute file access mode. Okay, so this we are going to use in the program. Then file permissions. Okay, so there are file permissions, and this file permissions, see, if you execute the command ls on the command prompt with -l, so it gives you the file permissions. So see, consider this group, consider sorry, okay, so in this group, this is the group, see, consider this group. Now this group is broken into the 3 groups actually. Okay, this group is broken in 3 groups in order to read, write and execute. R for read, W for write and X for execute. Okay, So the first three characters means character 2 to 4. So this is character 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, one is dash here. In this group, one is dash. Okay, so character 2 to 4, that is R, W and X. It represent the permission for the file owners. Okay, so it represent read, write and execute permission. Read, write and execute permission. So owner can read, write and execute. Owner means who created the file. Now second group is from 5 to 7. 5 to 7. So this is 5. R dash and X. Okay, so this consists of permission for the group to which the file belongs. So for example, consider the same example and bit number 5, 6 and 7. Okay, so there is the read and execute permission, not the write permission is there. This is only the example. Okay, and the last group is 8 to 10. 8 to 10. So 8 number is R dash dash 8, 9, 10. Okay, so in this case, this represent the permission for everyone else. Permission for everyone else means only read permission is given for the third group. That is who can means for everyone else means that is not owner or that is that file is not belong. So other than these two people or two groups, the other people can only read the file. Having the 8 to 10 bits are reserved for that group only. Okay, now see here. So we can show this in a set of this. This is the set 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In a group of 8 bits, we can give the permission. Suppose number 0 is set. Okay, number 0 is set. So this is the octal permission. Means what? Octal means 8 numbers are represented or can use for giving this various permissions, read, write or execute. Okay, so if 0, so there is no permission, not read, not write or not execute. If the number 1 is set, then there is the execute permission. Okay, you can see here dash dash X means X means execute permission. If number 2 is set, then write permission. Okay, so here write. Then 3, 3 is execute and write permission. Now 3 means see addition of these two, execute and write means 1 plus 2, that is 3. That's why execute and write permission. Okay, so number 3 means what? It can, that file has execute as well as write permission. Then number 4 means read permission. It is number 4 means only the read permission. Then number 5 means read and execute. So 5 is addition of read and execute. So 4 plus 1, that is 5. That's why read and execute, that is 5. Then number 6, 6 is used for read and write. So read 4 plus 2, that is 6, read and write permission. And 7, 7 means all permissions. All permission means what? 4 for read, 2 for write and 1 for execute. So totally 7. Okay, so if I set number 7 for the file permission in octal format means what? I can read, I can write and I can execute that particular file. Okay, so number 7 means 1, 1, 1 or save in, as there are 3 groups, so 7, 7, 7. So for everyone I am setting the permission, all permission, that is read, write and execute. For owner also the file who belongs to that file, and for other people also I can set the permission as 7. So I have to write 7, 7, 7 for the 3 groups. As the file permission is get divided into 3 groups, I have to write 7, 7, 7 for everybody. Okay, we'll see that in the program, then it will be more clear. Okay, now see, we will divide this program into 2 programs. In one program, we are defining all our macros. Read macro, write macro, then exit macro, file open macro, file close macro, then file read and file write macro also. Okay, so we are using this program macro.asm. Okay, for defining all the macros we use this program macro.asm. So if you see, first is the read macro. Up till now we have used this read macro, okay, with rx 0, then RDI 0 as a standard input is keyboard, then RSI contain the first parameter, the buffer, the RDX contain the second parameter, the count of that, the length of that buffer. This is read. Then this is print macro. This also we have already seen for printing the message on the output screen, the standard output device, that is screen. Then exit macro with AX60. So this already we have used many of the times. Now the new things is new system calls, that is for opening the file. So for opening the file, the system call we have seen is to, here we have already seen the system call is to, okay, for opening the file. So here we have made the macro for opening the file, because too many times we have to open the file. That's why we have made the macro for opening the file. So RX should contain 2. Then RDI will contain the file name, which file we have to open. Then RSI contains the flag. Okay, I have told you the flag, right? See, RSI contains the flags. So flags are nothing but it can be 0, 1 or 2. 0 for read, only read. 1 for only write, and 2 for read and write. So we are setting that flag as 2, so that we can read and write in the file whichever we are opening. Okay, and then RDX contain the file permissions that we have seen. Three groups we have to set as 777, and this O is octal. It is, this number is octal, not hex. Okay, that's why we have written this O here. So three groups, so we are setting all the permission: read, write and execute the file which we are opening. Then there is again fread. So fread, in fread we are using the same system call as 0, for fread. Only the difference is what? See, RDI contain the file handle. Okay, RDI contain the file handle which is returned by this open system call. Okay, then where we are reading the content of the file in the buffer, so that buffer we are sending to parameter 2. Okay, and in parameter 3 the buffer length. So this is fread macro. Same macro, same reading macro we are taking, only the file handle we are using here in RDI. In the common read system call, we are use this file. This is also the file handle, but file handle for whom the standard input device, that is keyboard. So 0 is the file handle for keyboard. Okay, in this case we are using the file handle for the opening file. Okay, then fwrite is also, we use the same system call for write, that is 1. Okay, again the difference is in which file we are writing the content, so that file handle we are passing. Okay, so that file handle we are passing to RDI. Otherwise the source is from where we are writing, from the buffer the content we are taking, and we are writing to other file or on the standard output. So parameter 2 is what? For buffer. 3 is the buffer length. Okay, so length. And then close. So f close, we are already seen here. For f close, file close, the system call is 3. So that's why, see, RX contain 3 and RDI contain the file handle which we want to close, the file which we want to close. So this is the fclose macro. Okay, now this was our macro.asm file. Now the second file, here we are writing the code. Okay, now this is the code for the copy and type command simulation. Here, see, as we are using two programs, so we have to include that macro.asm program or file by using hash include directive, okay, here in this program. Then section.data. Here we are writing the messages and all the length of the messages. So the first message we want to display on the screen is what? We are taking the choice from the user what operation we have to perform. So this is the message called title. So this is, here it is my whole message. So title, here the command says, in again first choice is copy, second is type, third is delete, fourth is exit. Okay, and then enter your choice. So this is my whole message called title, and then find out the length of that title message in the variable title length. Okay, so this message will first display on the screen. Then there are various messages for opening open message, so file open successfully. Then length of that open message, again for the close message, file close successfully, again take the length of that close message. Then there can be error for opening or reading the file, so for that fail to open the file, this message, again take length. Then for the delete purpose, delete message, deleted that particular file, again length of that deleted message. Okay, then we are typing the content, we are typing the content on the screen. So the message type message file content, then take length. Now see, we are taking here the files for the operation. So first file is file1.txt, and we are taking in f1 name. Okay, f1 name is the variable, then file2.txt f2 name, and file3.txt in f3 name. Okay, so these three file names we are taking here, we declared here with the data byte. Then in the .bss section, okay, so various buffers we are required. So again declare the buffer with the buffer length, how many reserved bytes are there, 200 bytes are reserved. Then here again the second buffer called the buffer length, this is the second buffer having the name buffer length. Again the 8 bytes are get reserved for that. Then the count we will require, so again 8 bytes are reserved for that count. Then f handle for that file names, so here again re the code word is declared, one code word. And then for taking the choice, this variable is taken, and 2 bytes are reserved for this variable. Okay, in the .bss section. Then .text. Okay, in .text, here we are writing our code. So global main and main. Okay, now display our first message, that choice message. So here the right macro we called, and that message we have called with its length. This message we have taken under the title. So whole this message is get printed on the output screen. Okay, then read the choice. Okay, read choice buffer we have taken, and the length is 2 bytes. So read the choice from the user. Hmm. Now by this the user can enter the choice now, 1 2 3 4, this may be the choices. Okay, now we have to compare ki what user press 1 2 3 and 4. So the instruction compare by choice 1, if it is 1, then we will do the operation copy. So if it is 1, jump if equal to the copy label. If it is 2, then compare by choice with 2. If it is equal, then do the operation type. So type is the label. Okay, go to type label. Then compare by choice 3. If it is 3, then go to the delete label. Jump if equal, JE means jump if equal. Go to delete label. Then compare this with 4. If it is equal to 4, it is exit. Jump if equal, go to exit label. Okay. So one by one label we will see now. So first operation is copy. So copy means we are reading the content from one file and we are copying that content to the other file. Okay, and we'll see that contents are get copied or not. So this is the operation that we have to do. The files we have already created as file1.txt, file2.txt for this purpose. Okay, we have taken some content in file1.txt, we will read that content and we are copying the same content to file2.txt. So this is the operation. Okay, so before reading we have to open the files. Okay, we have to open first file. So fopen is the macro we already taken in macro.asm. So take that macro fopen. F1 name is the file handle for file1.txt. Okay, so by this the file will open. By this file will open with that macro fopen. Okay, which file? File1.txt. Now, now if the file opens successfully, it will return the file handle in RAX. In RAX variable, it will return the file handle. File handle means where that file is, the memory address it will return, and we call that as file handle. Okay, in RAX variable that will return if file open successfully. If file doesn't open successfully, it will return -1 to show it has some error. Okay, so you can compare here after executing the open file command. So here compare RAX with -1. If it is equal to -1 means what? Some error, there is a error in opening. So if it is equal, go to the next label. So next label contain, so here write is my macro and error message. So we are going to print some error message. There is the error in opening. So this error message will get printed. Okay, and jump to exit there. If there is error in opening, we cannot do the further process. So jump to the exit label. Okay, so this is the case for error. But if the open file function is successfully done, then the file handle will get returned. Okay, so here -1 is not compared with the RAX. So next label, it is not jump to the next label, it will jump to the next instruction. So next instruction is what? We are saving the RAX, that is the file handle, RAX contain file handle, into our buffer called file handle. We are already taken one buffer f handle. See here, I'll show you. Yes, see, this is the f handle buffer of the code word, because that file handle is of size code word. Okay, so f handle, your file handle will be now in the variable f handle. See, so RX contain the file descriptor value now. Then here by this. Okay, now print the message that open file, that opening the file is successful. Okay, so call the write macro and that message with that message, and then jump to next. Sorry, it is here. Okay, here. So this message will be get printed, opening message, the file is successfully opened. Then jump to next one. So next one. So next operation is what? Now the file is open. File1.txt is open. The second operation is what? To read the file content from the file1.txt. Okay, so we have already returned the macro for read. We already return that. So we have passed there. See, I'll show you the fread macro that we have already returned. See, fread macro have three parameters. 1, 2, 3. One is the file handle, which is returned by fopen. Then the buffer in which we are reading the content and the buffer length. Okay, so these three parameters we have to pass. Okay, we have to see here. We are up to the next one, and the read macro, f read macro. So the first parameter is, sorry, first parameter is this file handle. Second parameter is the buffer, where we are reading that content of the file. This buffer is already declared. Okay, and the length of buffer is already declared, that is 200. So take that third parameter. So when fread is executed, means the file read macro is executed, it reads the file content and the actual number of bytes which that file contain. So see, this buffer length is 200. We have taken it lump sum memory. Okay, but that file contain 20 bytes, can it can be contain 20 bytes, 10 byte, whatever I have written there. So consider that, suppose 20 byte it have. Okay, so the actual number of bytes after execution of this fread macro, it will be in a RAX register. Okay, so we have to move that RAX, that is actual byte read by that fread macro. So that RAX contain the actual number of bytes read. Take that in buffer length. See, the buffer length is also we have taken as one buffer. Here, see, buffer length. Hmm. So take that in buffer length, means with the help of move instruction, and then move the in count variable also, that the same count we have taken in count variable also, because we have to write that into the second file, so that will required there at the time of write. Then call the fclose macro there, sorry, call the fclose macro for closing the first file. See, fclose f1, fclose f1 name. So we are closing the first file. Okay, and again call the write macro with the close message, the file is successfully closed. Then the second operation is done, that is read the content from the file1.txt, and our contents are in buffer variable, and the length of that content in buffer length variable, and as well as in count one also. Now we have to write it to the other file. So this is the code for writing to the other file. So before writing, we have to open the second file, right? So again call the fopen macro with second file name. F2 name contain the file uh, 2, right? So here file2.txt. See, then again compare that, because as we are opening, so again it return, if it return -1, there will be the error. If not, then the file handle will return in RX. So take that file handle in, again f handle, then write the message open successfully, that file is open successfully, and jump to next to one. So next to one, otherwise print the error message. Okay, now next to one content, what we have to write now in this file. So fwrite, see the fwrite macro that we have already written in the macro.asm. So this is the fwrite. So again here three parameters we are passing to that fwrite. First is the file handle where we are writing, the buffer from where we are writing, and the actual length of the content. See, so fwrite, call the fwrite macro. See here the file handle, here in this file 2 we are writing, then buffer the content of the first file in this memory buffer, and the buffer length contain the count of that content of first file. So we, by this macro fwrite, the contents are get copied to the second file. And then call the fclose macro for closing the second file, and again call the write macro for printing the message the closed second file is successfully. And then jump to main is the label. Okay, jump to main to do again the second operation, that is type or delete or exit. So jump to main here. Okay, then so here it is our type label. Now type is what? We are reading the content from second file and we are typing it onto the screen. Okay, so again the same thing, f open with the f2 name, compare it with -1. If it is error, then RAX contain -1, then display that message, error message. Otherwise take the file handle from RAX to our buffer f handle. Okay, so this f handle will require for uh, that next operation that we are reading. Okay, so this f handle will require there. Okay, then as there is no error, consider that there is no error, so go to this label. Okay, now read the content from that file with the file handle as the first parameter. The buff, again we are taking the content in the buffer and the length of the buffer is 200. So by that we are reading the content of a file in the buffer. Okay, now the next operation is what? We have to just display the buffer content on the screen. Okay, see here. Now after reading, the actual content which we have read from that file are in a RAX, right? So take that in a buffer length again, buffer length variable. Okay, and call the write system call. So write system call is type message, the contents are. Okay, this message is contents are. Okay, and again call the write macro with the parameter buffer, because this content we have to display on the screen with the length buffer length. This is the count for that actual content. So by this the contents are get display on the screen. Then call the fclose macro for closing this file. Okay, and then again call the write macro for to display the message file is successfully closed, and again to the jump main label again to receive the option from the user. The next option can be delete, so delete label. Okay, so delete is very simple, we have to just call miss the system call 87 for deleting the file. Okay, RAX contain 87 and RDI contain the file name, which file we have to delete. Okay, and then again call the write macro for showing the message file is successfully deleted. Okay, then jump to main, again go to the main, to receive the option from the user. And the last option is exit option, that is our exit from the program, that is 3ch system call. Okay, so this is the program for we are simulating copy and type command by using the assembly language program. Okay, thank you. Now